I am really very genuinely pleasantly surprised by The Little Mermaid 2. It's very rare that a Disney sequel will be decent. I think the only real exception where it's actually been hard-hitting is Frozen 2. That got good reception straight away. But most Disney sequels are straight to video and not very good. This is an exception. One of a few exceptions. And I have to say it's really, really fascinating with a fantastic soundtrack, and it's actually quite engaging and unpredictable. And this is coming from somebody who's not the biggest fan of The Little Mermaid. I like The Little Mermaid, but it's never the film that I would choose to watch if I had to pick a Disney film. This sequel was released in 2000. The full title is The Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea, and it's all about Ariel's daughter, Melody, which is a beautiful name, and there are some songs that are sung around her name, and it's just such a gorgeous name, really great choice. And Ursula's sister, Morgana, who is amazing, obviously threatens Melody to get back at Ariel and King Triton for what they did to Ursula. So Melody grows up with no knowledge of the fact that her family are mermaids and she's not allowed to go anywhere near the sea. But being a 12-year-old girl, she's very curious and is determined to find out what the sea is like. And obviously in the film, is she going to learn about her true destiny? Will Morgana ever capture her? And will Ariel ever return to being a mermaid? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but not the most predictable. I mean, I'll be honest, you can kind of work out what's going to happen for the most part, but there are little twists and turns, little characters that Melody meets, things that Morgana does that may not be the most predictable, which I think is good, because even if you're slightly older, it's going to keep you quite engaged. So I really liked that. I thought the graphic quality was really good. Actually, at the very beginning, the animation style was quite poor. And I don't know why, but there was just something about the first opening scene where the animation was a bit off. And I was a little bit worried that the whole film would be like that, but it wasn't. Thankfully, it was very good. It feels like The Little Mermaid. It's got the same vibes. I think what makes this work the most for me is the music. The soundtrack is so beautiful. Is it better than The Little Mermaid? Well, the soundtrack for Little Mermaid does my head in, because it's so overdone, particularly Under the Sea and Part of Your World. They're very addictive, great songs, very fun, but I've heard them 6 billion times over. This one's fresh and exciting and really lovely, and it will stick in your head, especially the song that is sung to Melody. Melody is also a very likeable character. She's pretty typical. She's a 12-year-old girl who feels, I think the phrase they used was a fish out of water. I thought it was very good. There are a lot of fish puns in this as well, which is good fun. The voice cast is really good. Tara Strong voices Melody. Jodi Benson is Ariel. Samuel Lee Wright is Sebastian. Pat Carroll is Morgana, and I love Morgana. I've never been a big fan of Ursula, but Morgana is brilliant. I love her. I love the design of her. I love how outrageous she is. Not my favourite Disney villain, but definitely a new contender for a top 10. I think she's pretty spicy, absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints at all. I'm really surprised by that, because I did not expect this to be great, but I'm just on a mission to watch every Disney film that was ever made, I guess. And this one's on Disney Plus, and I haven't seen The Little Mermaid in a long time, so it felt like a good one to watch, and I'm really pleased that I did, because it's a lot of fun. It's about an hour and 15 minutes, give or take, and the time flew by. Really pleased with it. If you haven't seen it and you like Disney, even if you don't like The Little Mermaid that much, give it a go, because I'm not the biggest fan of The Little Mermaid, but this is good. Also, Flounder is still adorable. It's a nice film. It's very well done, very pleasantly surprising, and it makes me more excited now to watch the other Little Mermaid films that are available. The Little Mermaid 2 is a lovely surprise.